Welcome back to the pod you're looking for. I'm Josh. This is Sam. The boys are back. We got a big episode planned. We put it out everywhere, dude, that we were going to be doing a big Burn It or Back It episode. So we have a ton of hot takes submitted by you guys and also just some other ones as well that we're going to be getting into.
This is the biggest Burn It or Back It episode we've ever done. I don't think we've done an episode that looks like this ever before.
No, dude.
What better a time than now? There's no movies in theaters that we want to see.
No better. But, dude, it's perfect because we have when I say wide variety, we have the widest variety you could possibly have.
We picked from every corner of the cinematic.
We dug little
argue sphere.
So we have a lot of stuff. So something for everybody, I think. Honestly,
yeah.
Except for maybe the musical people.
I'm pumped out. I'm pumped out.
I'm pumped out. I'm pumped out.
I'm pumped out. I feel like we're going into this here because by the end we're going to be
right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm conserving the energy for when there's a take that we both vehemently disagree with.
Yes.
That I can just make the jump up to 10.
It's going to be perfect.
I'm going to hold my Burn It or Back It cards in my lap here, and I'm going to keep them nice and cozy until until it's time.
Good.
Until it's time.
Dude, we have a few things as well. The next couple weeks we've planned out. We've got some guests coming on, so things will be fun. We'll keep it moving.
Very excited. Both local and international.
Yes. Wow. Ooh, wink, wink.
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be?
Come on,
who's it gonna be? And why is it Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy,
I don't know.
Perfect.
Having Jimmy Kimmel on to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters.
Wow, he'd probably love that.
He probably would.
He probably would.
That's back to transmissions. What do we got? We got a couple things. Nothing crazy, but yeah. You want to dig into what's happening in the news right now?
We touched on this a little bit last week, but it's official now. That Kathleen Kennedy is gone from Lucasfilm. It's just official.
14 years, like a king dethroned. She's off. she's out of the palace and onto the streets.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger news with it is, did you see everything that she commented on of the projects that were coming out as well?
Yeah, she didn't necessarily
Did anything stick out to you?
A little bit. She didn't necessarily just leave on quiet terms. She responded to questions about confirmed or unconfirmed projects. She acknowledged the rumor about the Hunt for Ben Solo project.
She did.
And she actually said there is a completed script and that she has seen it and read it. She called it, quote, great, and she said it's on an indefinite hold. It's interesting to me that she didn't make that distinction, that it's officially canceled, that it's just on hold.
That was interesting to me, too. They said placed something like about it being on the shelf, ready to go.
Yeah, and she said the same about James Mangold's Jedi origin story about the origin of the Force
2,000 years before or something
like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's on indefinite hold, and then the Lando Calrissian. Originally, it was going to be a Disney Plus show, and then it got turned into a movie, still with Donald Glover. So it'd be a young Lando show,
which he's directing.
Well, apparently he wrote the script himself, and he handed it in to her. She said that was also great, and she said that's also on indefinite hold. So I don't know, dude. It's interesting. You know what's funny to me is it's funny that all of the projects that would probably bring me back into Star Wars are on indefinite hold right now.
You know what I think it is, honestly? I think it's the fact that we're having this change in leadership, and they're kind of just waiting to see what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's like they didn't want to greenlight all these big things, and I think that's why everything is... There's like 50 billion things in development at Star Wars and almost nothing actually coming out.
Right. You said it last week. This is my big takeaway from this is I just feel refreshed. I don't feel like we're back with Star Wars. I don't feel like Star Wars is saved yet. I would love to get to that point in a year or 2 years from now. For like you said, for the first time ever, Dave Filoni is not tied down to any one man or woman. He's just running things entirely on his own terms creatively, and we're about to see exactly what he's capable of in its most unadulterated form.
Yep.
It's that in and of itself may not be a reason to feel back with Star Wars, but it's certainly a reason to have hope, because I don't think since George Lucas has been in charge of Star Wars storytelling have we had somebody in this position to run Star Wars shows that loves the franchise as much as the fans. It's been
clearly
ages.
You got to give that to him, if nothing else.
At least that. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see, dude.
I feel like it's a thing like with with sports teams, you know, when sometimes they disappoint a little bit, and you just got to fire the coach, even if it's not really necessarily the coach. Sometimes you just got to do that.
You need a hard reset.
Fresh reset.
Yep.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah, I think so.
Very good.
But yeah, very exciting, dude.
Yep.
What else do we got?
You tell me, man.
You want to read that second bullet point?
Yeah, let me see.
Why
Let me
don't you
see.
take
Of course,
that?
okay.
Why don't you
Oh
take
my
that?
gosh, that's why you said that. It's like, why does he need me to read it?
Why don't you take this one?
Hans Zimmer, set to compose the Harry Potter score. This is for like the Wild Beasts, right?
It just keeps, it
Oh
just keeps getting better and better and better. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Are you back in on this?
You know
I
what?
thought you were a little out on it at first.
I was out originally on the Harry Potter thing.
HZ brings you back in.
Yeah. Dude, there's just something about Hans Zimmer being attached to a project because the Hans Zimmer's interesting. It's interesting in the sense that he doesn't really take projects unless he feels an emotional obligation to be associated with that project.
It almost feels
some way,
like
shape, or form.
he reaches out to them because he's interested.
Yes.
Not that necessarily happened.
Well,
but...
it's that thing where it's like when you're at the top and everyone's knocking your door down, it's like the projects you choose to take on automatically kind of get elevated to a higher standard just because your name's attached to it. So it's almost like, how do you not look at this and think there must be some weight to this Harry Potter show? You know what I mean? And I just think, also as somebody who grew up with the books, I haven't read them in 10 years, but like it's like I spent my whole life appreciating the movies, but also knowing that the movies couldn't and didn't cover the books in all of their, glory and for all that they were worth. It didn't do them total justice. And now you're having a situation where it's going to be an 8-season show with almost 10 episodes a season, an hour long each. It's like now you have 8 hours to flesh out 7 books. You know what I mean? Like, or 7 seasons to flesh out 7 books. Like, we didn't even get. I don't even think it took me 8 hours to read the first 3 books combined. So it's like it's really an interesting thing, dude.
It's a lot of time.
It is,
Holy
dude.
cow! Is that 8 season confirmed?
I think it might be 7. I might have spoken too soon.
Well, still, but that's
but
a lot.
The actors are all signed on for almost a decade. So
That's
it's
crazy.
interesting, dude. It's really going to be.
Wow.
It's really going to be. It should be. Barring some wild casting controversy that we already may or may not have had, with Snape. I think that barring some big storytelling change, there's no reason why this shouldn't be one of the most true to the source material adaptations of a fictional work that we've gotten since Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Just on paper, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a compliment I'm giving. I think it's just like there's no reason you shouldn't live up to that.
Okay.
Like you've been given the time, the resources,
Yeah.
So make it happen. I just hope the one thing, the one thing I am nervous with is like some of the older, like John Lithgow playing Dumbledore. Like he's already like 80.
Yeah.
That makes me nervous.
We're gonna have the same situation happen again.
Right. It almost makes me feel. Yeah. I hope it's not a Richard Harris situation where you're recasting Dumbledore for the 5th, season or something like that. I hope all these actors make it through. You just never know. This is a big commitment.
Are they shooting this like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like pretty much we're like rifling these off.
It's going to be similar to the movies where they just like maybe took a season off and then came back.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I think they said there might be a brief amount of time off between they're shooting the first 2 seasons back to back.
Okay.
And then I think
good.
they said they're going to give it a little time so you can see the kids kind of age up.
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
in the 3rd book they do make that distinction, like so and so looked a little bit older or so and so had different hair or something like that. So you want to see the kids age up. You don't want it to feel like they're you want it to feel like you're growing up with them and not like they're rushing it. But yeah, I think it is going to be kind of like streamlined.
So interesting that they're doing it in TV format. I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. Well, I think it's similar to your Breaking Bads or your Stranger Things pre-season 5, where it's like it really feels like cinematic stuff that deserves to be seen on a big screen, but you're lucky enough to get it in a TV format.
Right. It's just so different. Yeah.
Anyway, Hans Zimmer. I mean,
cool.
it just feels like it's just more good heaped on something that has a lot of potential. So, all right, what else do we got?
We got a little news from Netflix just on the theatrical window that they're going to be doing. That they're shooting. They are planning for a 45-day release window still.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, this is the ultimate like seesaw. We're going just back and forth and back and forth. I don't know where we're going to end. But hey, at least Netflix seems to be trending in maybe a positive direction. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's something.
What is it, Ted Sarandos or Sarandos?
Yeah.
Or
He has
something?
been. His one-liners have been something else.
Well, you know what? For all the big company CEOs that like don't have that through line communication with the consumer, I think that what he's doing is on paper. It's the right thing to do. You're communicating, even if what you're planning to do is not in line with what people want. I mean, that's how change happens, right? And he originally said that Netflix would have like a 15-day window or something for movies, and now he extended it. He said, actually, we heard you. We're moving it up to 45. And he recognized that it's not what people wanted, so they're adapting. You're doing all the right things, And I think at a certain point, all these like big people in suits can't be that in tune with what the average consumer wants, but this is about as much as you can ask for. Just somebody who has an ear tuned to what people want, and they're not too high on their horse to negate that or neglect it. So it's good news, and you know what? I hope
this is good news.
Right. I hope as the DC stuff continues to roll out and these movies continue to hit, I hope that they see the merit in something like an Endgame situation where you make it through your 45-day window, but then it's successful, so you just keep it there for the whole season or something like that. Like, I hope there is that occasionally, because it's sometimes fun to see a movie in theaters once it's overstayed its welcome, and you're like the only person in the theater, and you're just able to enjoy it without the crying baby or the audience cheering or whatever. You're just able to kind of sit there and consume it in like its purest form. It's a good thing. So hopefully Netflix continues to impress, and hopefully it all works out. But
does this mean, I just thought about this, does this mean the Harry Potter show is going to be on Netflix then?
Oh, because it's on HBO, I guess it'll be linked in
At some
way,
point, right?
Yeah, I guess. And I'm sure that, I'm sure similar to Stranger Things, I'm sure maybe the finales of each season you'll have like a theatrical window.
That'd be cool. I like that a lot, actually.
I mean, that would be great.
Why not?
Because now it's
if you build it up like an event.
And especially because fans are used to the event that the movies were. It's almost like if you don't have some sort of a theater experience with that, it feels like you don't get the full thing, you know? Even in a world where the show somehow is better than the movies, it's like you still want that theater experience. So, hey, you never know, but there you go.
Big fan. What's next?
Well, one more thing. We have the MCU's next saga. We had a report that broke a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, that the MCU's next saga revolving around the X-Men would reportedly feature 2 different variants of Wolverine.
Interesting.
With people speculating that the Cavalrine might be back. Henry Cavill's Wolverine.
You actually think that?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, there's no way.
I think Henry Cavill would be so well suited for the MCU, but in about 8 different roles.
Yeah,
it was so much fun to see him in Deadpool Wolverine, but I think in that small sample size was perfect.
Yeah, that was the perfect way to use that. That was awesome.
What do you think?
So they'd be doing presumably like 2 different movies involving, or do you think it would be...
Or like the X-Men team would just involve 2 Wolverines? I have no idea, dude. It just feels weird to me. It feels, you know what it feels like? It feels like Marvel wanting to move on from Hugh Jackman, but knowing that they can't.
Yeah.
Knowing that you can't replace him, so you can only hope to kind of like...
Well, that would assume then that Hugh Jackman's totally cool to just keep doing this, right?
Which is cool, but honestly, then just do an old... At that point, just do an Old Man Logan thing and don't...
Yeah, he's done what, like 7 X-Men movies already?
More, dude. Don't do another Wolverine. Just have it be an Old Man Logan thing, dude.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And the X-Men roster is huge. You can have Wolverine get killed off a couple years down the road and have it still feel like a solid arc.
It would just be hilarious if we have it where, like, we've seen First Class, we've seen the other movies where you always see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as the guy. It would be so funny if just forever in the MCU, no matter what like form you've looked, X-Men related, it's just always Hugh Jackman. Always.
And yes, I agree. What. And I think that you could very easily do that. Where I like in X-Men 97, the whole season Wolverine's kind of sidelined to just being the grumbling, bumbling guy at the headquarters that's kind of just like murmuring to himself and throwing out the one-liners. And then at the end in the final battle he comes and he clutches up.
Yeah.
I think just do that with Wolverine and do that with Hugh Jackman and focus in on the other characters. Focus in on your Cyclops and your Jean
because
Grey
they've already done plenty of Wolverine content anyway.
Right, you don't need to redo it. We get it. You know?
And then you can do, I don't know, yeah. What, I mean...
Coy.
Yeah. The Ultimate X-Man Insider.
Did you see his take on the Wolverine show that he would want to see?
Yes, I did. Where they go backwards?
Yes. He
That's
said he wanted a multi-season Wolverine show where each season is a different time period of Wolverine kind of going through history and kind of living out these enormous like war scenarios or battle scenarios, and then like season 5 he catches up with the X-Men roster and it just all aligns.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh,
genius.
Dude. How cool would that
genius.
Be? Yeah.
And that's where you could do a different version and be totally fine.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, dude. But I think that's how you use Wolverine, even if you recast him sparingly, because we don't need to see more. I would love to focus in on the others. Bishop, I would love to focus in on Mystique more. You know, there's so many other people out there that didn't get their due justice. You know, Yeah, maybe not mistake. But there's so many others. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But
no, good.
So there we go. I think we're done with the Galactic Transmissions.
Done.
I say we
Look
just
at
go
that.
straight.
We actually did it today, dude.
17 minutes.
Wow.
And that even
that's good.
A couple minutes
That's
of that
good
was
for
just
us.
us.
That's good for us.
Prepping before.
That's right.
That was like a sub 15-minute Galactic Transmissions.
Good for
That's
us.
crazy.
Man. Look at us, man. Coming up.
Has the moment come? Are we here?
Moment's here.
All right.
Moment's
15 minutes flat. We're going into Bernard Backen.
Boom.
Wow.
Right
we
in. Right,
choo-choo
right
chugging
in.
along. So in case you're just joining us, in case you this is one of your first episodes that you're listening to and you haven't been present for a Bernard Backett segment, basically what this is, Josh a year ago brought this segment to me. This is one of the things we started the podcast to do. It's just been such a blast. It's our hot take segment. So basically we'll read off a hot take. If you like the take, you back it. If you hate the take, you burn it. And the hope is that we would disagree so that we can duke it out and jump across the table and wrestle. And the hope is that if we agree, jump across the table and something else happens. Hey, you never know. That's the reason you watch. That's
what you pay for.
Episodes.
That's what you pay for.
Trying to boost the video engagement.
That's right.
So if you're on Spotify, get on over here.
Get on over
to
YouTube.
Come on. So how many takes would you say we have here?
We got like 20, 25-ish.
Yeah,
We got a
quite a
lot.
few.
So a few of these are actually submitted by you guys. So thank you to
Yes.
whoever submitted that. We always start with those takes.
We do.
So please, for future, if you ever have anything you want to submit, literally anything film,
we
we'll
will
tackle
read it off.
Yes,
yeah,
we will.
It will be read.
Mm-hmm. So
Unless
keep
it's
those
something
coming.
like, some random,
We got one about some really random movie that like 5,000 people in the world have seen.
we're like, oh, great
we
take.
did not touch on.
Well, let's dive into it. You want to
Okay.
dive
Yes.
into it? We'll go back
so
and
our
forth.
first one. Here we go.
Okay.
TASM 2 is the greatest live-action Spider-Man media we have ever gotten. Spider-Man 2 is a phenomenal movie, but the Spider-Man highs you get in TASM 2 are absolute peak.
So OG Spider-Man 2 is maybe better, but the moments, the Spider-Man moments in TASM 2 are better, is what this is saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I think a better Spider-Man across the board, I guess.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Obviously burning that.
I'm obviously backing it.
It's
What are you talking
ridiculous.
about, man?
I'm pro TASM 2, but
I don't even know if you are.
well, I am to an extent. More than some people are. I'm
All right, so what's your
I'm a
argument?
middle ground guy.
Why would you obviously burn it? You
Because
don't think
Spider-Man 2, the moments are some of the best you get in live action, in my opinion.
But that isn't that what he's saying?
Well, what do you mean? He's saying...
It's the greatest live-action Spider-Man media.
No, I'm saying the OG Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
Not
oh.
the Amazing.
Oh, I see.
No, the Spider-Man 2. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2 is
Those are the best moments.
some of the best moments you see live action, period.
Sure.
The only thing that would challenge me about anything is honestly just I love the TASM 2 theme. That's the only thing that makes me feel different. And that moment at the end of him swinging right after while hearing Gwen's speech, encouraging him to get up, is potentially one of the best. But I don't know, man. There's something to that whole final bit where with the train scene, and then the fact that then you swing over to him burying, Doc Ock burying himself in the water, and then him swinging with Mary Jane finally. Like, it's peak. It's so good.
I'm willing to come off of my stance here if we can agree on one thing. I think that TASM 2 gets the mechanics of Spider-Man the best. I think like
what he should function as.
The movement, the web slinging, like it's the best live action adaptation of like the aura that Spider-Man has. I feel it kind of does that the most justice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a mixture of Andrew Garfield as a performer and just the way they understood Spider-Man as kind of just like this acrobatic hero. It's not just the punch and web 'em up type hero. There's so much, the way he like crawls around people and the way he kind of moves. He like when Electro's trying to zap him and he's just like moving, he's like bending and winding around all the electrical poles and this and that. Like there's so much to the movement of Spider-Man that I feel that TASM 2 gets correct, that elevate it. And to your credit, back to the Hans Zimmer thing, I don't know how much of my adoration for TASM 2 is due to the score, because I think it's the best live act.
It's
I think
so good.
I think it's the best Spider-Man score that we have.
It's so good.
It's my favorite Spider-Man theme.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you there.
I don't know.
If I back this up a little bit, I think you're right with what you're trying to say. I get the point of what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I've almost thought of TASM 2 as like the reverse Dark Knight, where it's kind of like it's so hindered by the villain compared to so elevated by it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I just hate the story so much that like you like weave if you kind of forget the story and you just kind of weave in and out like the moments, you're like, okay, so I guess if that's the point of the take, that there's the peak just moments, individual pluckings, I guess I can agree with you. I just hate so
different.
much of what drives that movie.
It's different though. Like the Maguire. I'm trying to think of how I want to put this take. The Maguire Spider-Man movies. It's like Peter's romance with Mary Jane impedes upon his ability to save the day. Mm-hmm. And then in the TASM movies, it's like Peter's obligation to save the day impedes on his romance. So it's like it flips. It's like the focus is not on the villains in the TASM movies. It's on the dynamic between Peter and Gwen. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like there's a part of me that, despite the villains feeling lackluster, it feels like it should matter that the villains are groundbreaking. And if they had been in those movies, it would have empowered the movie even more. I'm not about to deny that. But I definitely think that because the movie is focused much more on the relationships that Peter has in the TASM movies, the villains kind of being middle ground villains and not really amounting to all that much doesn't affect me as much as a viewer, because that's not why...
But see, I think that's what hurts it so much, is that the story is focused around Gwen. And the fact that because it's so heavily focused on it, and then you see where he's constantly like, I'm in, I'm out. I get so sick of the thing by the end of it. You're like, dude, like, all right.
Just make a choice.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? Because we already do this in TASM 1. So we're really going to spend another movie doing the whole thing. And then when she dies at the end, it just feels way too forced to me. That it's like...
Dude, that gets me every time.
I love that she dies.
Oh, it gets me every time.
Hear me when I say this. I love that she dies because I like when movies take risks like that.
Yeah.
But I think they mess up how it's done. Like... Not actually. Well, what I'm trying to say is this: it's not like deserved for the villains to have killed her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They didn't do enough to make me feel like they should have been the ones to kill her.
They should have gotten that win.
I like that happened, but it feels like it's like too forced in that perspective, because Green Goblin sucks so badly in that movie, and then he comes flying back in, and you're just so sick of him, and you're like, this is just making me mad.
It's so tricky, dude, because I think that I think that there's 4 or 5 movies that you could say are better than TASM 2. I think at least in terms of Spider-Man. And I'm saying this as somebody who loves TASM 2.
Yep.
But I just feel like TASM 2 especially understands Spider-Man specifically so well. Maybe not Peter, but Spider-Man so well that it's so hard for me to not make that argument that it might have the best Spider-Man moments. Because every time Spider-Man, just as a presence, is on screen, it just feels like the best embodiment of the character. Whether it's the Times Square fight with Electro, or the final battle, or the opening 10 minutes where he's fighting Rhino and riding through the streets, like, and he's making jokes and he's doing this and that and he's web slinging and he's, it just all feels so ripped from a page. It's so perfect, but I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
it's tricky, but I know there's better Spider-Man moments elsewhere. I just feel like TASM 2 might understand Spider-Man as a character best.
I think.
Not Peter, but Spider-Man.
I know what you're saying. I think there's when you say moments, I mean like literal moments. I think though, as an overall, I disagree. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Like, there's specific things I pluck out from that movie, and I'm like, that's perfect. This demonstration of Spider-Man here and here and here is perfect.
Sure.
But then the way they weave it through the movie, I think there's just too much loosiness. It's all the things with Gwen. It's his flip-flopping and all that. Just doesn't make sense to me for the character of Spider-Man. And I think that's where Tobey does so much better of understanding that he kind of has to let her go.
The weight of being, yes. Right. And even Tom understands that better. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's why I'm so bummed that we didn't get a TASM 3, because I think that he would have finally understood. Mm-hmm. I think that post Gwen's death, he would have gotten it. I think that was his moment, and you just never see where it goes. Mm-hmm. But,
yeah.
Okay. So there's one. We have 85 to go.
Yes. Next up, we've got Batman Arkham Knight is the best Arkham game by a long mile. Whoa. Peak Gotham, peak gameplay, peak story. It's just a 10 out of 10 game.
Wow.
I would like you to... I'm not going to lie to you. I can't actually speak on this. I've actually never played them.
Dude, you have to play those.
I know I need to.
They don't... Origins is only available on the old consoles. You have to play the other 3. Yeah.
Okay. Please speak to this.
I'm going to burn it.
Okay.
I'm going to burn it.
Okay.
City to me is the best Arkham game, I think, as a whole.
Interesting.
Not the best world, not the best gameplay. I returned to it a couple months ago and replayed a fair amount of it. It's not the best gameplay, it's not the best performing game, but the story is so. It's like might be the best Batman story that's been told. It's really really good. But honestly, Arkham Knight is not what people make it out to be. It's not the terrible, controversial experience that it's made out to be. People say because the focus is so much on like the Batmobile and the vehicle combat that it's not as good. I disagree. I think it adds a whole new dimension to it that had never been in a Batman game before. It's awesome.
Yep.
Scarecrow's a great villain. It adds a horror element that's there, and even like the element of like Batman confronting his inner demons and the inner demons being manifested into Joker. It's just there's so much to love about that game. The side quests with Professor Pig and the Arkham Knight. There's and the emotional elements there. Even if it is, you can kind of see it coming. The twists there are great. I'll still give it its credit. It's my second favorite. I think between the three, I'd put Arkham Asylum, the original one, at the in the third spot. But Arkham City is probably the best. But again, I totally respect. I've played Arkham Knight 3 or 4 times since it came out in 2015. It's been a while, but you know when you're working. A couple years ago when I was working part-time at the grocery store, you know, when you have time to just go home and
you get into it, you can burn through that.
I was playing it over and over again. It is one of the more replayable games that's out there, but I'd say City is still better.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sweet.
Right.
Okay.
All right. What else do we got?
All right. You want to give one? Yeah. You go.
Yeah. This one might keep us going back and forth for a while. La La Land is better than Whiplash.
I love this. I love this.
Gosh, dude, we're gonna have to try. I'm gonna be fighting my inner demons to not talk about this for 25 minutes because I think we're gonna disagree. La La Land is better than Whiplash.
3, 2, 1. I'm burning.
I knew we would disagree.
Yeah, I knew. I had a feeling too.
I
know you love La La Land.
Say your piece, dude.
I feel like you and I almost have a flipped opinion of this. I feel like the way you feel about La La Land is the way I feel about Whiplash. The way I feel about La La Land is the way you feel about Whiplash. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where it's very like we both love both movies.
Yeah.
I almost think Whiplash is like, oh man,
they're both so special.
They're very good. They're both very very good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think Whiplash just speaks to me more. I think the message of it is so different. It's something you just don't expect to see at the end.
Yeah.
That it's just such a curveball. You know what? It's tough, though, because that's the same thing with La La Land. I can make the same argument.
You can.
It really is.
What a run Damien Chazelle went on.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think it's just the ending. You feel a little bit more of like a satisfaction with finishing it.
Yeah.
And I think there's more to it than La La Land, where La La Land feels a bit more like you kind of almost get to the end and you're like, what just happened? How was that an hour and 45 minutes long?
Well, both of them are similar. It's the I got what I wanted, but at what cost? Right. So at the end of Whiplash, he finally gets what he wanted. He got the approval of his mentor. Mm-hmm. But he had to give up his girlfriend.
Yep.
He had to kind of turn his back on his dad, and he had to leave basically all of his own ego and all of his own sense of self at the door, and he basically sold his soul for the craft.
Yep.
So he got what he wanted, and he's going to see success down the line because of it, but at what cost? Mm-hmm. Because now he has nobody. And Mia gets her big movie career. Sebastian gets his role and his gig and his restaurant.
Yep.
But at the cost of their relationship and their life together that they had been building. So it's something that movies don't tackle enough that I just love, where it's like, what happens when you have a dream and you have people in your circle rooting for you to make that dream happen, but you can't take them with you on your way to the top. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting, dude. And I think it's why both of them will always be regarded as one of the better 21st century movies. Because it's just such a bold...
so against the grain.
It's such a bold theme to tackle. And I just, dude, they're so
good.
Where
you get a satisfaction, a payoff, but you also get a little bit of like a... I don't know.
I think it comes down to, and I'm not at all going to assume where your headspace is at. I'm going to speak to this from my own experience. For me, it comes down to what can I emotionally relate to more. The idea of sacrificing a relationship... like the idea of like me being in that spot in La La Land where I would sacrifice like my fiance for my dream, I couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And you know what? The idea of sacrificing my family and my fiance for my musical career, I couldn't do either. But I think there's something about like, you know what? I don't know. It's so tricky. I think just. Because both of them do play on that whole like leaving your people behind to like make your dreams happen, but also at the same time
he leaves his dad. He kind of
you feel it more in La La Land because you follow this love story the whole time, and it just feels like it makes so much sense, and it feels like the only resolution to that movie for 2 hours is that they end up together and they find a way to make it work, and then they don't.
Yep.
And it just feels like you got the bad ending, but it's like but you don't want it to play out another way because it's like. I remember the first time I watched that movie, my hands were on my head because I was like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Yep.
But also at the same time, I was like, "A movie has never made me feel this way. I've physically felt my heart be like pulled out of my chest because I was like, oh no, dude, are you serious?" I don't. Yeah.
You know what it comes down to for me?
Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
I feel like stylistically, La La Land for sure. I think even the reveal at the end, I think, is a bit more. Is better, where you just feel it more, like you've said. I just think throughout the progression of the story is much more clean and interesting in Whiplash that I would want to rewatch it more for sure. And J.K. Simmons is just so unbelievable in that movie. I can't, man. Like, he is so entertaining. You get to see the crap talking, get to see him just be his full self, you know? And it just makes it so much more interesting, I think, from a minute-to-minute kind of scale in terms of watching it than it does as an overview, you know?
That's exactly it. That's what I was trying to say earlier, and I couldn't find the words, and you just hit the nail on the head, is the whole time in Whiplash, the odds feel so stacked against the character that it's like almost out of spite, you just want to see him get what he wants.
Yes.
And in La La Land, it feels like the odds are stacked against the characters, but like the only way they could possibly find their way through this situation is together.
Yep.
And it almost feels like them finding their way through to secondary to the fact that you just want to see them do it together. That when they don't, it feels like they didn't actually get what they wanted, and you just you don't feel that payoff. Like you don't, but it's perfect because it's life.
Yep.
It's so tricky, but I think that's why I like La La Land more.
But which one would you rather rewatch more? Tell me that.
I think La La Land.
Really?
I think I would.
Okay. But there's plenty of times in La La Land where I feel like almost, and I don't want to say this because I love the movie. I don't mean this as a diss. There's just not a ton happening in La La Land.
Okay.
Like throughout the middle of the first act through the second, kind of, it feels like there's a little bit of just like.
I love how it's broken down by like season and this and that, and how it I love how they play the whole Hollywood thing where it's like the first 45 minutes feel like a classic like 40s Hollywood movie, and there's even the moment where they're sitting in that observatory and it feels like it could end and then it continues on and you're like, uh-oh.
It does feel very old school.
Yeah.
It gives me almost the same type of vibe as Train Dreams that we just talked about, where you feel like you're just observing things happening.
Yeah,
it's
you just
less
have to
a
watch it
movie
unfold.
and you're just
right.
And then it's a movie in the third act where like everything kind of wraps up.
Exactly, dude.
But
it's tricky. I don't know.
But that theme, man.
And that's the whole other thing, dude. But then also Whiplash, the final sequence where, and what are you doing, man? And you see like the mutual respect finally, the final shot where he hits the last beat and he looks up and he smiles at him, and it's one of my favorite shots.
There's just something to be said though about Whiplash, the way it makes you laugh.
Yep.
It makes you feel sad at the end, but you also feel like good about it. Like you feel more emotions, I think, overall from Whiplash than you do from La La Land. I think La La Land is pretty much straight up just one emotion.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not to, again, I think it's incredible, but I think Whiplash just takes itself a step further.
Interesting, dude. I think this is one of the few that we've had, the few burn it or back it's where there's no bad answer.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally understand why people would like it. I think it's just style.
Yeah.
Like, I think, is it crazy to say La La Land might be the better movie overall?
But Whiplash is a better experience.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going.
No, I don't think that's bad at all. I think I'd agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so there we go. 3 down. What else do we got?
Okay, I was excited to talk about this.
Okay.
Because there's a part 2 to this one. Okay, so we'll read the first part and then we're gonna go.
So
the Dark Knight trilogy is the best superhero trilogy of all time.
Best superhero trilogy.
Superhero trilogy of all time.
Hold on, I might have to think about this for about 5 more seconds. This is hard.
It's very hard.
Because the more I think about it, it's my first.
I have my answer.
My first initial thought is not necessarily my deeper thought conclusion that I'm coming to.
All right. You got an answer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm backing it. Wow. You're backing it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll back it too.
All right. I have, yeah. Do you want to explain why?
My couple that come to mind are Guardians and Cap.
Cap was the one giving me a run for my money. But I have a reason why I think that Batman's better.
Guardians is it's got all the emotions. It's got a great story. It's got a great through line, and I like how each one focuses on a different character. But it does have that little dip with Guardians 2, where they kind of go more of a jokey route than a serious one, and it does kind of suffer a little bit, and then it comes back up.
Mm-hmm.
And Cap, I think personally the first Avenger is 8.5 out of 10. If
I would
not
go higher.
9 out of 10. I think Winter Soldier is a perfect movie. I think Civil War is a 9 out of 10 as well, but the problem is it doesn't feel like a Cap movie. So
that's exactly where I was going to go with it. I almost think the Cap thing, you can't equate a character that's not nearly finished with their journey and in the middle of a movie that doesn't even feel like necessarily his own. It feels more just like an Avengers movie.
And at no point does it feel like a Cap movie.
No. And then to compare it to, which you and we can talk about in a second. That's the part 2.
Mm-hmm.
But with Dark Knight Rises, I do think the way they wrap up his story, it feels so perfect for the journey you've seen him take.
Yeah.
That I feel like it's done. Like, I love that the story finishes there, and I'm totally cool with the way they did it and tie it back to things in the beginning of Batman Begins. You know, it it feels very conclusive, and I think it just adds in when then you have the star power of the Dark Knight. I mean, it's tough to beat a movie like Winter Soldier, but when you have The Dark Knight, they both cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I would go, I don't know, I would almost say, if we're talking just movies, which one's better, I would go the Cap trilogy. I think the Cap trilogy is better than the Batman trilogy. But I think that the Batman trilogy does better for an overall character, for technicalities of a trilogy.
Great take.
It does.
That's a great take. That's exactly what I would say. I'm not even going to add anything onto that. I think that's perfect.
Sweet. Okay.
And I'll say I didn't always feel an attachment to Batman Begins in the way that other people did.
Me neither.
I don't know if that's...
Me neither.
Like, what was your... How would you rank them? Dark Knight?
Yeah, well can we... Let me read you this part 2, and then I think that'll help. Right?
Oh, does it? Okay.
Dark Knight Rises is overhated and misunderstood.
Oh, perfect then. Okay.
Dude, because I think we both know this.
Okay, all right.
Right.
3, 2, 1.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100% back it. I love The Dark Knight Rises, dude.
I think it's so overhated.
Yeah, man.
I
think if you take Heath... And again, how many times have people said this? I don't mean to be that guy. If you took Heath Ledger out of The Dark Knight, I think Dark Knight Rises would make an argument for best Batman movie.
Ooh, interesting.
Best Batman movie in that trilogy.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I'm sorry,
I think it's the best
movie in that trilogy.
I think it's the best showcase of Batman.
I agree.
In the 3.
And it's the most engaged I feel with Christian Bale's Batman in the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think the whole wrapping up of the arc of him coming out of retirement and all this stuff, I think it's great.
Bane's awesome.
Dude, Bane is so good.
He's great. People think he's campy. I disagree. I think he's awesome. I think he pushes Batman to a physical limit that the others can't.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's interesting when the first one is more played on the emotional opposition because it's Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul. Mm-hmm. The second one is more Joker plays on the again. It's all emotion. The first couple are emotion because then Joker's coming after the people that Bruce loves. The Dark Knight one is just the one that pushes him to his mental and physical limits. Bane always feels 2 steps ahead and this and that, and he always feels just out of reach. And everything just slips away from Bruce so fast. There's so much to love about that movie. I just never felt a real attachment to Batman Begins. I respect it. I really do love it. And you see the blueprint. Like, rewatching it recently, I was like, you can see how this led to one of the more respected trilogies of all time. Mm-hmm. I love the other 2 more. And I certainly love The Dark Knight Rises more than people say they do. You know, most people say they do.
I would definitely go, like, to your question earlier, Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins.
Totally agree.
I would go 5-star, 4.5, 4.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'd go.
Great take.
I feel like people with Dark Knight Rises, to go back to the overhated thing, man, I understand people hate how uber extreme everything is, and it feels like at certain points people have said that it feels too much like there's just a billion things happening.
Yep.
To me, I love it.
Yeah.
Because to be able to combat the dastardly Joker, you've got to take big swings. And I think they do such a good job of making it feel like more of a Gotham-wide problem than you expected with a Bane, you know?
Yes.
And it's perfect, I think. And there's a period of like 20 minutes that drag just a little bit once Bane has the city.
Yep.
That's my only real gripe with the movie.
That's really
to be
it.
honest.
That and what's her name's death scene when she like suddenly just
It was me all along.
I know.
Yeah, not good.
It really is a good movie, and honestly, considering some of the stuff that they had to cut because when Heath Ledger unfortunately passed away, like they had a whole sequence with his Joker in that movie where Bane was going to talk to him or work with him.
I'm kind of glad they didn't. Is that crazy?
Imagine how convoluted the movie would have been if that happened, and how that might have affected people's, view of his performance in The Dark Knight if he was kind of used in a poorly constructed way in the sequel,
Right.
There's so many things that were avoided that I think that I just have never been on the movie's overstuffed train. Mm-hmm. I think it's exactly what it needed to be.
Yes, it was intentionally a citywide issue.
Yeah,
it wasn't that this happened, oh my gosh, and then this happened. It was all part of the plan. That was the whole movie.
Right, the whole thing is that there's so much happening that it just slips out of Batman's hands, like we were saying. Like, he has no control over anything that's going on. Mm-hmm. The police are overrun. Gordon's, kicked out, and he has to jump in the sewers. He gets shot, and he's incapacitated for a majority of the movie. Like, you have to feel that come up in the end, and that can only really happen if it feels like so much happens, that puts the heroes in danger, that it's like it's too much for them to control. Mm-hmm. Because that's the whole idea of The Dark Knight Rises. Like, what do we do when we fall?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We pick ourselves back up. So
Right.
Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Yeah, you got something? Oh.
No, I was fiddling around with
Yeah, you fiddling again?
Ned here. He came with our friend of the pod, Cam. He got us these figurines, and Ned came with these two replaceable hands. And
did he lose a hand?
I was fiddling with one, and I dropped it halfway through the day.
I wanted to get your take on this, dude.
Yeah.
I saw this online the other day.
Okay.
And I have an opinion about this.
Oh?
I do. I think that the opening to Dark Knight Rises is actually a lot better than the opening to The Dark Knight.
Whoa. Interesting. This is a good take.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody say this before.
I saw this, so I am stealing this, but I totally agree. I think, honestly, I think it's very... I think it's more captivating. I think it feels more like there's a deeper thing going on.
Yeah.
I think you feel like Joker's just some sort of cross, whatever, guy that's all over the place. But with Bane, you feel like, man, it's such a cool scene, just flying out of the sky, playing out the sky, and everything with that I think is so cool. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't really understand fully what's going on yet either.
Right.
Where the other's just a regular bank heist kind of style. I don't know.
The both of them are so true to the character.
Yeah, right.
There's not a better way you could have introduced Joker. And that shot of him from behind standing on the corner in front of the bank where it's showing him holding the mask from behind. One of the best shots in cinema. Yeah, the introduction of Bane, though.
So good.
When he's got the mask.
Yeah.
Perhaps he was wondering why someone would shoot a man. When he's still got the hood on. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the music. Mm-hmm. Something, he's like, who is Bane, or this and that, or they're talking about Bane and the music in the back. Again, the Hans Zimmer score. This is just going to be the Hans Zimmer
Glaze Fest. Yep.
Oh my gosh,
so good.
Yeah, they could make the argument for either. I don't know, dude. That's tough. I don't even know if I'd have a follow up to that. That's interesting. But I'm glad you brought that up. That's something to think about. Yeah,
you have to ponder that. Anyway.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. You want to read us the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next up, Moment of Truth. This might have us debating for quite a while. Just watched it last night. Rewatched it last night at 1 a.m, sobbing like a baby. Finding Nemo is the best animated kids movie of all time.
3, 2, 1. Dude,
I'm gonna back it all the way.
Nemo take.
8 days a week, 25 hours a day. I'm gonna back that, dude. Gosh, dude, that is such a good movie. It's perfect. It's perfect.
You did.
I can't. Go ahead.
I'll say it. I'll say it because people are too scared to say it. Nemo has its moments, but it is one of the more irritating watches. I'm sorry, I can't, man. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Honestly, dude, the story, sure, it's nice. Sure, I know you grew up on it. Whatever. I don't care. Honestly, rewatching it now, I rewatched it probably 2 months ago. Dude, it actually was annoying. Dory's annoying. I find even Nemo, you don't even care to root for that much. Honestly, I'm being so serious right now. I'm being so serious right now, dude. It's honestly, what is so special about it? What is so special about it? It's more the journey of people criticize Up all the time for saying that the middle of the movie drags and at the beginning and end. Honestly, that's how Nemo is too. The middle of the movie, I really don't care about. I really don't care. Is that crazy?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not. That was a rhetorical question. It's not.
What is irritating about it? Just Dory?
Dory's obnoxious, man. What are you talking about? Dory's really annoying. Nemo's... I only like... Everything at the beginning I hate. Honestly. I find with the school and all that... I mean,
What?
I know the parent connection, whatever. Honestly, I don't care about the beginning. The middle is such a drag. The only thing that's nice is the very last, 25 minutes. Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've always felt this way?
Yeah. Always felt this way.
This isn't like a thing where you loved it as a kid and then you grew up and you kind of changed your stance?
No, and this is not even a thing to poke you. I actually think this way. I swear on my life.
Dude,
It's partly to poke you. I think it's fine. I think it's a fine movie, and I understand if a kid likes it. But I think there's so many better animated movies for sure. Kids movies.
There's animated movies that are on par with it.
I could name you 10 better Pixar movies already.
10? Go for it.
Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2, Cars.
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 Dude, Cars.
Cars.
I love Cars. Cars is in my top 10. It actually is, but better than Nemo?
Yeah, easily. You serious? Cars.
Am I serious? Okay,
Yeah,
Cars.
I'm serious. Cars.
Okay.
Cars. Ratatouille.
Okay.
Coco.
Okay.
Incredibles.
Okay.
Toy Story 1.
No.
It's close. It's close. I'd go Up.
Really? Even with how... But Up drags for about 45
It does
minutes.
too, but at least the beginning and end make me feel more than Nemo does. If they both drag in the middle, I'd rather the one that makes me feel more.
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Okay.
Did I say Monsters, Inc.?
You didn't, but that's tough. That's tough. You
put
know
that
how
in.
I feel about Toy Story, but Monsters Inc. is a great...
Makes you think.
It does make you think.
It does make you think.
So that's 8.
That's 8?
I think that's 8. Might have lost count. Wait, you said Toy Story 3, Ratatouille, Cars, Incredibles, Coco, Toy Story 1,
Monsters, Inc.
Monsters Inc.
Why am I blanking, dude?
Did you say Toy Story 2?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, so then 2 more.
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
Wait, let me pull up my list again.
Okay.
Let me pull up my list.
There's no way it's not in the top 10, dude. Even if
I
you
take
don't
Inside Out over it too.
Wow. And?
It's probably number 10. I'd have it right at 10.
Okay. Okay.
Are you? You really disagree that strongly about
I
all
do,
this?
dude. This is the one time, and it was cut out. It was never discussed. It was never referenced. This is the one time I ever had to cut out. I called you a name on the podcast. It was episode 3, and it was because you said that Finding Nemo stunk. Remember this?
Yes, I do.
I called you a name, and we had to cut it.
Uh-huh.
I really do. This is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I know.
I love this movie so much.
Guess what I say
think it's
about
perfect.
it? Irritating.
But what's weird is I feel like all the reasons I love it are should be just so universally loved by all that it's not even just I can respect an opinion if somebody doesn't like it. There's something within me that physically doesn't understand. I mentally can't wrap my head around somebody not feeling the same way I do about this movie. And I don't feel that way about many movies.
What's the minimum rating you'd allow me to give it that you'd be okay with? If I gave it a 7 out of 10, are you okay with that?
I was gonna say 7.5, 7.
Okay.
Dude, it's such a good movie.
I would probably give it a 7 if I'm being not how I feel, but just trying to add to what people like as well. I would give it a 6 in my enjoyment.
Should I rehash the thing that I said very early on in this podcast? Why I loved it so much?
Please, yeah, please do.
Growing up, my dad was always incredibly protective. I grew up blessed to say, and I still do, have a dad who, huge family man, hugely protective of his family. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things where if somebody said, if somebody called somebody an idiot on Disney Channel, my dad would mute the TV. If there was a Victoria's Secret commercial, my dad would stand in front of the TV. If we were at the mall and, somebody was out of sight for 5 seconds, he'd, oh, hey, Sam. And some people would call that overbearing. Looking back on that, being less than a year removed from not being in my family's house anymore, getting married and moving out, it's very it's very emotional to look back on that and see all the ways, even just past all the times where he would maybe be protective or maybe be whatever, where you'd kind of look at it and be like, oh, you're being overbearing or whatever. Like, just as a person to reflect on 24 years of life and to just see how protective and loving my dad has been to me and to everybody in my family. And to just know how rare that is. And to just see the value in having a dad that cares so much about me that he would go to the ends of the earth to, rescue me if I needed it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that, it's such an intangible, rare thing to be grateful for. And I recognize it daily, and I thank God for it. I think I look at a lot of the dynamic between Marlin and Nemo, and I see, like, myself and my dad. And I see, like, I see how my dad is very similar to Marlin in terms of, like, as I got older, as I went and got my first car and I went off to college and I did this and that and I proposed to my girlfriend. Like, there's been all these big life milestones that I've watched my dad I've had to watch him, like, put himself in a position where he was able to let go and let me go my own way in certain areas. And I've seen it be tough on him mentally, but I've watched our relationship grow because of it. And I've appreciated him so much for any moment he's allowed me to take responsibility into my own hands. And so I think that the story of, like, when it starts out, how protective Marlin is, to see that evolution of throughout the movie, Marlin is willing to swim across the ocean to save Nemo. And then across that, how he just threw different things through his experience with the jellyfish and with Dory and with the sharks, and these little things break him down and allow him to get to a point where when he rescues Nemo, like, they're on an equal playing field, to where it's like when they're back home, he's willing to let him go and he's willing to let him do his own thing. The final line where Nemo pulls away from the class and goes back and hugs him and he says, "I love you, Dad," and he says, "Bye, son," and it just shows him slowly fading into, into the
Going
ocean
over
and disappearing.
the hill.
I see so much of my dad and my own relationship in that. I just see a lot of, like, my dad being protective my whole life, and then as I get older and he realizes, I'm a responsible adult, he can let me go. I see so much of that. And so it's hard to not watch that movie and really feel connected to it in that way. Because I feel, I see my loving dad who, it's like how they say, like, be great, show your parents some grace because they're figuring out life one day at a time, just like the rest of us. They're living life for the first time too. Like, it's that whole thing of, like, seeing my dad, have to evolve as a parent as much as I'm evolving as a kid and a teenager and now an adult. It's you go through all these experiences and they build you as a person, and then you reach a point where I'm gonna get married in a couple months, and my dad is teaching me all he can to make sure that I'm in a position where I can swim away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just see a lot of my own relationship with my dad in that, and I see my dad in Marlin, just like a protective father who is learning to let his kids go and grow. And I just feel like a great kinship to that. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair for it being your favorite movie.
Yeah.
For it being one of your favorites, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that applies to everyone watching it. Then I think that changes it drastically, because that's a very nice take on why. And honestly, I'm not even trying to, like, that's a nice take, right?
Sure.
But I don't know if you take that away.
You're right. I'm annoyed because you're right.
I don't know. It's just it's like an okay movie.
Not everybody has that dad situation or that thing where they
or even
see
like
their parent in it.
I think every person can see it a little bit, but like other people just don't care as much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I can see that a little bit in my parents, but like at the same point, it's like I also am just not affected by that as a person.
Sure.
Now, I will say for you, knowing everything, I do understand that a lot more, because I feel like your dad is one of the more kind-hearted people with tendencies toward that.
100%.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So I get it.
But you're exactly right. Maybe it doesn't make it the best. Maybe it
it
makes it completely understandable why it'd be my favorite.
So I get it if it's your favorite.
Okay.
But I feel like to say that it's not a little like sometimes in it is like, I feel like that's fair. No, I feel like there's so much of that where I understand what you're saying of points that line up that all kind of add together to make it a nice story together. At the same time, I just don't care. I don't know that there's just that much, that the journey just kind of is to me.
Dude.
It's just kind of eh.
Dang it. I don't know. It hits all the right beats for me. But again, everybody's different.
Everybody is wrong. No.
I don't know, dude. I really did. I really do like it. I think personally it might be the best. But you could say maybe Toy Story 3 is the best, and I'd understand. You could say Into the Spider-Verse is the best. I'd understand. You know, there's a couple different.
I'm gonna take the Spider-Verse ones out because I know some people, at my dad, will call it a kids movie. It's not.
No,
it's not. But right now, man, I'd probably lean if I had to give my answer. I might go Toy Story 3.
You think so?
Is that crazy?
I would understand it.
Crazy?
I would understand it.
I think that's one of the best. Man.
You know what? I think that's what's
so
bothering
good.
me so much about your stance is not is it's.
Am I like a little too hypocritical?
I think so. It's not even just like an outright. It's not like a. I disagree, but I understand. It's just flat out.
It's horrible.
It didn't. What did you say? Something like most people were. I don't know. Whatever you said. Whatever you said.
But see, Toy Story 3 has the journey, though. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's nice.
But so does Nemo, though.
No, but I love.
More so.
Well, I love the journey, though.
But you don't love this one.
No.
Okay. Oh.
I will say, in all fairness, I actually didn't grow up watching Finding Nemo at all.
Oh, you
much?
didn't?
Not much
Okay.
at all. I had seen it, of course, but didn't grow up watching it. Did grow up watching Toy Story 3 and Ratatouille, and they are two of my favorites. So I do think there's something to that. I mean, obviously.
You know how some of the older people in our church like read their Bibles so much that like you can't even see like the leather is like worn and
right,
it's like white leather because they've used it so many times and the pages are all like wrinkled and brown and this and that. That was like my VHS tape of Finding Nemo. It was like you couldn't even recognize the VHS tape because we had opened and used it so many times and
that's
just
funny.
So I don't know.
That's funny.
That it was
I think
always
that's
on.
good. We're gonna do at some point. We'll have to do the Pixar thing. We'll finally do the Pixar thing.
Yeah,
and
we will.
I think we should do a Pixar thing. I also want to do like a Disney animation as well. Add it in maybe.
Yeah.
Just because I think
that might have to be too different.
Do we do two different? Okay.
Disney animation is huge.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right.
But there you go. I
Okay.
don't know if we came to a conclusion there, but
we did something. we understand each other better. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we can. Wow. When I look in your eyes, I see a little different twinkle now.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. Okay. All right. Next one. I have Christopher Nolan is the best director today, but Steven Spielberg has had the most impact on the movie industry.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. I'm gonna back it.
I 100% back this,
Yeah.
and I think we can make this very quick. I mean,
do
the best directors today have all cited Spielberg as their inspiration.
Yeah, he feels like the
you
guy
go.
that you always say you're like your favorite director's favorite director kind of thing. You know,
That's it.
where it's like,
Him or Scorsese, you know?
yeah, he just laid the blueprint.
And
man.
even I'll say, like, I love Scorsese. He really is like he's mastered a specific niche of cinema, and he's been stuck there for about 50 years. It's like the gangster movies or the fast-paced character-based stories where everything just kind of like unravels towards the end. Like he's mastered that type of movie. But Spielberg just can do everything. He can literally do everything.
His catalog is so much deeper than you think. Like, do an exercise, everyone listening, and go look at it.
He's done everything
unbelievable.
He's done everything from Indiana Jones to E.T. to Close Encounters of the Third Kind to Jaws to West Side Story to The Adventures of Tintin. Like he's done everything.
Yep,
He's
and even things that
unbelievable.
he's just like a side part on, just helping out with. It's insane.
Yeah.
His influence is crazy.
My favorite Steven Boss Baby 2. My favorite Steven Spielberg. Oh man,
Cream of the
Where
crop.
were you when you watched
Cream of the
Steven
crop.
Spielberg's Boss Baby 2?
To add in with that, dude, Christopher Nolan, though, man, if you like the ratings, average rating on like every single one of his movies, like even his worst one, it's just insane.
Oh, yes. And that's
Like,
why I
honest-
agree. I also back the first part of that. Christopher Nolan is the best director today.
We just destroyed or not destroyed. We destroyed the take that people said that they hated Dark Knight Rises, but that's probably one of the more controversial ones of his, and it's like
And it's still an
we both think
8.5
it's
out of 10.
fantastic.
I think. Yeah.
So it's
Yep. 100%.
great, good stuff.
100%.
All right, you got one?
Yeah. Let's see. The ending of No Country for Old Men ruins the movie. This one can be very quick as well.
Can it?
I think so.
3, 2, 1, back in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd burn it. I don't think it ruins it. What,
I think it does for sure.
Okay,
I
walk me
was
through.
so disappointed when I watched this.
Walk me through.
It's such a. I really like the vibe. I like the low amount of talking. I like the build up that you get for the first two acts.
Sure.
It's just so underwhelming. Like you almost don't even realize, they just kind of pan over like it's not supposed to be something that happened, that he's already dead, and you're like, okay. Like, it kind of just comes out of nowhere, and for me, the anticipation and build up is so good that, like, you want to almost feel like you're like, you've got your popcorn, you're ready to just go into it. But then they kind of just like, they're like, oh, well, you already did it, you know? And it's like, I don't know, it just kind of kills it, where you just feel like it's so anticlimactic to me. That I understand it's out of left field, but it just feels a little too, like, I don't know. Like, I either wanted a nice just payoff fight, or I wanted it to be like some sort of cool twist, not just like, oh, that random thing that just happened, he just died. He's just...
Well, but that's I think just reality, right? I mean, like, I
get
think
it,
that's
but
the
it doesn't
impact
make
of
it
No
very
Country.
exciting.
That's the real impact of No Country for Old Men, is that, like, you're looking at Anton Chigurh and you're like, there are real people out there like that. There's people walking among us like that, like killers, heartless, antagonistic people like that are just walking freely among us, and they don't always get brought to justice. Sometimes their story just ends, and they get like there's no literal real life payoff to everything that happens to them. Sometimes they just like create
but
their
it doesn't
own
make
demise.
it a good story.
It doesn't. Well,
I don't think it does.
It's kind of the La La Land or Whiplash effect.
No,
where
I don't
it's
think
like,
so. Because
it's maybe not the perfect ending, but it's...
No, there's a satisfying, like, this is the concrete direction we took. And I understand that that's the same thing with No Country for Old Men. But it feels more like you kind of just didn't take a direction. You kind of just didn't do anything.
But I don't think that they, like... I don't think they, like, chickened out on an ending. I think
that was intentional.
Right,
I just think it makes it for a bad movie. It's hard to rewatch it back.
Really?
Why watching the first two acts, I think, stink now, knowing where it goes.
I don't think it does, dude, because it's just the reality of, like, I think the character is so unique.
I still think it's solid. Don't get me wrong.
I think when it's a situation where it's like the character is so well written, and the movie is so well written around this insane, narcissistic, insane person that just comes off as this cold, calculated killer. It's so well written around him while he's, alive and walking around throughout the entire movie, that, like, I whenever you talk to somebody about the movie, they talk so much about, like, those moments in the movie before you even consider getting to the ending. I feel like maybe the end, like a powerful ending. I think the ending could have been anything. I think that the character is just so well written.
Yeah, I guess I'm not...
This one's tricky.
It's tricky because this one I'm not trying to just hate. I swear on my life. I'm just talking from disappointment. I felt disappointed watching the ending. I was kind of underwhelmed by it. To the point where I was like...
Well, I know you're not the only person who feels that way. It's
like, I'm still giving it... Like, I would still give it, like, a 7 out of 10 for the movie. And I would say probably most of the movie, the first hour and a half is a 9 out of 10. I just feel like the ending just brings me out of it so much that I was just kind of like, I just felt very disappointed by it. And I don't know how to put that, because I guess sometimes and I know there's a take, I think, later on about this, but sometimes you and I will try to analyze it through what makes the movie good. And this is a situation where I'm kind of just analyzing it as, like, a person just trying to enjoy a movie. I just didn't enjoy it, I guess, the ending.
Sure.
Maybe that's personal, so I'm not trying to hate on that direction of people like that. I'm not saying, if you like that movie, you're stupid. Like, I get it. For me, it just didn't work.
It's such a bummer that an ending can rewrite the emotional reaction to a movie so quickly.
Yep.
That it has that much impact. It makes sense that it does. Like, your emotions oftentimes throughout the course of a movie are based on your expectations around how it's going to end. So when it doesn't really fulfill that or scratch that itch, it really kind of leaves you unsettled, despite enjoying for 2 hours the movie.
Yep.
It's difficult, because I just think in this specific situation, and I won't make this argument for many movies, I think that the performance and the actor and the character are so engaging for 2 hours and 20 minutes that it's okay that it ended how it did, because I feel like the impact already happened. You're not really watching him hoping he gets what he deserves or expecting it to happen or anything. You're kind of just watching this insane character rampage through an area, and you're kind of just like, you're not sure where it's going to go.
Right.
So I don't know how to feel.
So then to just kind of not go anywhere feels a bit underwhelming to me.
That's tricky, dude.
It kind of doesn't. I do love the character work though.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
But,
it is very good.
yeah,
That's tricky.
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll
We'll see.
rewatch.
We'll see. Wait till No Country for Old Men 2.
Oh. Okay, since I just mentioned it, dude. Here we go. You and I. Our focus.
This is the take.
This is the take. Yeah.
Okay.
Our focus on viewing movies through how objectively good they are has killed our viewing as a fan.
Okay, so we're not able to. You're saying we're not able to enjoy the movies. Most people aren't able to enjoy the
I think that's
movies
what's
as
saying, yes.
experiences, how they're making you feel, just because you're kind of critically
Right.
looking at it.
Yes.
How good is this as a product or a?
Yep.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna burn it. I can explain why.
Okay.
I feel good about that. I think in some ways for me, honestly, I was so pro the fan for a while that I think this has helped me actually. I think it's helped me to be a bit more objective about what actually makes a movie good.
No, I agree.
Because of how intense I've been into I just like my medium and I like it the way it is and I will enjoy it no matter what happens because I like these characters, this universe, whatever. And I think it's kind of helped me to step back a little bit and kind of say, does that really like make sense though? You know? And I think there's a way to balance that in for sure. But I think I was so much more like 75% fan, 25% objective that now I'm trying to whittle that down a little bit more if I can.
Well, there's a balance to be
Right.
had. Right. Yeah.
So I think it's helped me. But I do get that sentiment sometimes that we do get lost a little bit in that.
I think my standpoint is just there's a way to be both. And I don't think you have to swing entirely one way or the other.
Do you feel like certain projects, though, necessitate that more than other ones?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
But I think that the reason you fall in love with movies in the first place is because of how whatever one got you into cinema made you feel in the first place. Like, you got into movies. Everyone has that movie that roped them in originally because of how that movie made them feel and their emotional connection to it. So I think when our passion for cinema is based on our love for it and how cinema makes us feel, you can't totally take that out just to look at a movie based entirely on the substance of the movie.
Yep.
Or the show or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. You have to include how it makes you feel as part of it.
That's fair.
Return of the Jedi is not... It's not the best Star Wars movie, but the way that final
It's
act
awesome.
makes you feel it puts it in that conversation.
So it's like, how much do you weigh that?
Right.
How much do you weigh the feeling that you get?
Right.
Because in some regard, if you're going to watch a movie for pure entertainment, I mean, if you're entertained, I mean, that's a great experience to me.
Yeah.
So it's hard to not give that a high rating if you didn't enjoy yourself, right?
Right. I think, yeah.
So it's like, I don't know how you... But sometimes you watch a movie that's really good, but you didn't quite enjoy yourself. And it's like, how do you manage that?
I think you gauge it based on what the project is, but I think for the most part, you have to go in as a movie viewer with a balance in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be too objective and you can't be too emotional. You have to
Right.
just like you can't walk out of Rise of Skywalker and say I hated it. It was terrible. But also I'm a Star Wars fan, so I feel too bad to say it stunk. Like, you have to just be honest with yourself.
Yep.
You know, on the flip side, Superman was a great Superman movie. But you can't say because I've been so hypercritical of DC, I have to ignore how this Superman made me feel just because I feel like I have to be consistent with Superman, you know, my criticism of DC. Like, you have to find a balance somewhere.
That's actually the perfect example of what I'm talking about right now, that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it watching it in theater. Like, loved it in theater. But I feel like I see so many warranted complaints about it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. You know?
Yeah.
Because I walked out of that theater feeling awesome.
I think a lot of...
you're like, what do I do?
And let me say this. I think a lot of the complaints about Superman are really justifiable complaints to level against DC if that tone and if that standard being set continues into future projects.
Very
I think
fair.
for what Superman was, it was perfect. But if in 3 years you've reduced DC to nothing but a Guardian-style joke fest and everything's just happy and sunny all the time, I think that you've destroyed DC.
Yep.
So it's fine while it's here in just this one pocket of DC where it's Superman. But if you make Batman more lighthearted because you've got to figure out a way to get him to cooperate with Superman saving squirrels,
Right.
then you have a problem.
Right.
You know?
I actually did see this. Did you see this? Quick aside. That they finished the script, I think, of Brave and the Bold. And that apparently there's a bunch of... I'm actually serious.
Only took
There's
3
actually...
years.
I know. But there's a bunch of rumors, actually, too, that Wonder Woman's supposed to appear in it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or that she's supposed to appear in Superman. The Superman movie.
Okay.
One or the other. That she's supposed to be in there. Anyway, at least it gave me some hope. And
Yeah,
I was like, all right, that's good to see.
Which is all you can ask for.
Right.
So there you go.
Hope. Okay, got next?
Yeah. Let's see. TV shows are worse now that seasons are too short. 6 to 8 episodes has killed character development.
Wow. Oh, I feel on the fence about this take.
Um...
Can I allow myself to? All right, wait. Yeah, you ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm giving the most 50-50. I agree with I'm using a 50-50 card right now.
Okay. All right. So you want me to?
Yeah.
Go first here.
Yeah, please.
I don't think that for the first part, TV shows are worse now that seasons are too short. I think that's more. It's like if you love a show, it's like you want it to continue. It's like you don't. If you love having family over, you hate when they have to go after 4 hours. You know what I mean? It's like you want your characters and your world to just keep going on. You know what I mean? You don't want it to end. You don't want to have to say goodbye. 6 to 8 episodes have killed character development. I don't think that's a problem with 6 to 8 episodes. I think that's just if you have a bad writer.
Bad writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
It just comes down to bad writing. I mean, the first two, most recent example, the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things, first 4, you could even make an argument for. All, 8 to 9 episodes, and all some of the best writing we've had in television. And then season 5 is just poorly written, and it's the same length, and suddenly 6 to 8 episodes is a complaint. And I think that, you know what, it just comes down to who's writing your thing.
I agree with what you're saying, and I think, but that's why I almost agree with the take a little bit, because I think the poor writing has gotten so bad that now people want to span out seasons. It's like, we're going to do 5 seasons of this when it's really something that should have been done in 1 or 2. That's an issue.
Though. That's it, though, because if it's bad writing for 6 to 8 episodes, I can't even imagine the damage that would be done if the season was 20 episodes long.
For sure. Okay,
you know what I mean?
You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're
How much
right.
more damage would they do?
You're right. Yes. But
It's like you're saying, stop hitting him. He's already down for the count.
But I do think it hinders I think it's the ideas are not necessarily as good and we're overdoing the TV show format.
Sure.
But I think it has killed it. Every time I watch a shorter show, it's not nearly the same as, like, for instance, I'm going to use this example, and I know it's bad to take the top of the pile. But Breaking Bad, can you imagine not getting the character development we got across 13 episodes each season compared to if we did 6 to 8? Like, it's very different.
That's true.
It feels like when you have the idea, you should be able to really flesh that out. And I think that does add to your ability to connect with the characters a lot. Like, a lot.
Okay, so then I would put the asterisk there that 6 to 8 episodes. There's no reason why. Like, I'm not making an argument for every show to be 6 to 8 episodes. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do 6 to 8 episodes, it should come with the assurance that, like, you're putting the best writers possible at this thing.
Is quick.
Right. And you're making this an 8-episode, 6-episode season because you guys have a story that you've constructed before you start production. Let me say that, because so many people don't do that anymore. You have a story that you've constructed before production starts that you feel can be started, carried out, and concluded appropriately and effectively in that span. Mm-hmm. It's not, the studio gave us 8 episodes, so let's see what we can do.
Yep.
It's, we've made this show concrete enough that it could be any span of time, and we know exactly where we're going with it, and we can adjust accordingly.
Yeah, it's a good take. I just feel like, to give an example, Welcome to Derry recently watched, and I feel like I did not get into feeling connected to the characters until the very last
Not
episode.
until Pennywise started fiddling with all of them, yeah.
And it just feels a little too much like it's both of the arguments in one. It's because of the writing being a little sloppy at the beginning, but also I feel like it is because you only got 8 episodes to see these characters, and then that's that.
Right.
So it's just hard to be drawn in.
Then also it's a writing issue when you have 14 main characters. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
It's like weed them out. So then that's a writing issue. So it's like, I wonder if the show would have been better if, similar to the first It, the show is just centered around the kids and not the military and not the Native Americans and the, I don't know. You just don't know.
You know what, hand up? I'll say it. First time in Burning Back at History. I think you converted me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
I'll take it. We'll circle back to Finding Nemo.
Oh, good. No. That is long gone.
All right, but there we go.
Yep. Okay. Really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, man.
Pixar hasn't fallen off. The audiences have just grown up. Wow. Wow. You ready?
No. I gotta think here a second. Pixar hasn't fallen off. You said the audience has just grown up?
Yeah. It's an interesting take. It's a really interesting take.
This is a layered.
It's very layered.
This is layered.
It's one of those again where you kind of have to.
I'm similar to you in the last one where I don't know.
You can give that.
Yeah.
You can give that. All right. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna burn it.
I'm burning it.
I'm
yeah.
burning
Okay.
this
You're with that.
100%.
Okay.
I don't think this is an issue of, like, you can say what you want, like Elemental, Elio, Turning Red. Pixar has fallen off some sort of level.
Mm-hmm.
They're not on the Toy Story, Incredibles, Ratatouille run that they were on for ages.
Right.
It's not the same level of quality. At the same time, we are in our mid-20s, and the people who were there when Pixar first started are closer to 40.
Yep.
It's not made for us anymore. So there is a certain level of you have to acknowledge that. But also, I think you can see a bad movie when it's in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, you can recognize a bad movie when it's sitting right in front of your face. And I think some of the Pixar movies recently, even if they're not bad, Pixar set such a specific standard of quality for so long that it's just like, I mean, it's hard to reach that every time, but they just haven't been coming close lately. Right. They can, they just haven't. So it's layered though, dude, because it's not made for us. Like, these movies are a cartoon about, a kid going to space with an alien sidekick is not made for us.
Does that? I think that's the issue. Is it's almost, and I hate to say this because I know we deal with talking toys and talking cars, that whatever. I think almost the ideas have just gotten so outlandish. You know what I'm saying? As well,
like almost over-designed.
Yes, not like it's not possible, but like something where it just becomes too much of an idea. We're too focused on the idea and less about something simple that kids can just latch onto.
I like that.
And I hate to be the guy that goes based on box offices stuff, but like if you look at all the recent movies that Pixar's done, they do horrible unless it's Toy Story.
Unless it's a sequel,
or something that's a second time. Yeah. Right. It's just, I think that shows, A, that it's fallen off, but B, I do think it's just because of this again, like, kid, Elio is a good message, right? It has the message that basically you might feel like the grass is always greener, but really, like, your family and the ones that hold you close, like, even though you might be at odds, are actually the most important people in your life.
It's a great message, but you know what? Like, Cars did that too, and it's so much better.
Yes, but it's because you shouldn't have to fly to space and have a talking slug, and all these weird. It's so all over the place, right? That it's like, I don't know what kid sits there and really latches on to any of this because it's just so out there.
Yes.
Whereas it's easy if you see Woody and Buzz, and it's just it's a toy.
Yep.
It's a toy that can talk. I mean, it's simple. It's a rat. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much more simple in the grand scheme of things that way. And not like you have to come up with... I feel like things like Zootopia changed the game because it was that big-scale, universe-style movie. You have to
create this big sprawling world.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And now every movie that's from there on, animated-wise, feels like they have to just live up to that.
You're cooking right now, dude. Yeah.
I don't know, and I feel like they've just got to wind it back to be able to get there.
I totally agree. Animation doesn't, and you could even say like Spider-Verse did that too. Like you don't need your thing to be like a visual feast for it to be a satisfying emotional experience.
Right.
And whatever.
Some of the best Pixar aren't even like when you go back and watch them. Incredibles, like it's very rough.
Even like you're saying, like despite our disagreements on it, like Nemo, it's a world. A globe-trotting story.
Yep.
They go to so many different locations. There's so many different set pieces and things going back and forth, but it always feels so contained.
Yes.
Because it's character-driven.
Yep. Exactly.
So, yeah, I think Pixar has fallen off. But also, objectively, the audience has grown up. But I'll say in defense of the younger generation that these movies are for, they deserve better. They deserve the stories that we got.
Yeah.
So, I
Agreed.
don't know.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
With you.
Are you want to read the next one?
Yeah, I think I did this one. You want to go?
Oh, you did? Okay. I'll say, okay. Star Wars doesn't have a trilogy problem. It has a fan entitlement problem.
Wow. Right for the jugular.
3, 2, 1. I'm going to back it.
I'm burning it.
I'm backing this. I think. Are there clear differences in quality between the trilogies? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But also, does each trilogy have like a subgroup of fans that are like ride or die protective of their trilogy that they grew up with? Yeah. I mean, like your dad, for example, will die on the hill that the prequels are irrelevant because he grew up loving the original trilogy.
Yep.
And there are people that rejected outright the sequels, even at their best moments, because of their love for the prequels. So there's always been that situation where it's like certain like Star Wars projects are only allowed to succeed so much because the people that loved the era that came before won't allow it to break through the ceiling that they've established.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But again, it's tricky. Star Wars does have a trilogy problem. The sequels are far and away the worst trilogy that we've gotten. You know, anything could be better. And so there is that. However, the fan entitlement problem is real and it's strong with Star Wars. I mean, everybody that you'll talk to that grew up loving Star Wars has a different hill they're willing to die on for Star Wars. And it's never the same one.
Yep.
So it's interesting. 10 years from now, there's going to be a group that grew up with the sequels that's going to die on that hill that they're the best, you know? Because it's what they grew up with.
Which they're horribly wrong.
They're wrong, but they're entitled.
I think
they're entitled to their opinion.
Though. Even though I grew up on the prequel trilogy, I don't say it's the best one, even close to. I just say the thing that people say that I disagree with is saying that you shouldn't have done them.
Well, no, but you'll say the score, like the music and the lightsaber duels are the best. And somebody who grew up in the 70s and 80s might say, I disagree. I think the slower fights are better because it feels more like a medieval sword fight. Mm-hmm. Or the score is better because the first time I was sitting in Empire Strikes Back in the theater with my dad and I saw Yoda lift the X-Wing and it played his theme, it blew my mind and it made me cry. Like, you know, it's everybody has a different experience.
I get it.
You know what
like
I mean?
The sequels are a tack on. That's the difference, though. And it's like... It's like you're trying to add an addition to your house versus just buying the house. And it's like when you buy the house, though, you've got the downstairs, which is the main part, and you've got 2 rooms upstairs, and that is the prequel trilogy. It was always part of the house. Just some people don't like to use the house.
Yeah, that's great. That's it. Yeah. It's tricky because there is a trilogy problem, but also the fans are like almost entitled to a great fault.
Are Star Wars fans the most entitled, do you think,
yes,
of any fan base?
I do.
I say that as a Star Wars fan.
I do. I'd say Star Wars and then probably DC, most recently with like the Snyderverse kind of splitting from...
DC's the one that you feel kind of bad for, though.
You do, because they deserve better.
Right.
You know, the comics are so good that the movie should live up to that. But you've seen it split with Snyder and Gunn, you know, but I think Star Wars... I mean, from the beginning has always been like that. There are people that, even in the 80s, were arguing that Return of the Jedi ruined the legacy of the first 2.
I wish I was old enough to be, like, fully... aware of things when the prequel trilogy came out. I know, dude. I would have loved to seen what the reaction was.
Imagine you and I sitting in line for Phantom Menace the night that came out.
Oh my gosh, man! What was that? 1999.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Oh my goodness, man! First time seeing the Duel of the Fates in theaters.
Dude, I just can't imagine like I don't know. I can't imagine seeing Revenge. Like for the first time in theater. That movie,
crazy.
I will stand on that. I will die on that hill. I'm going to show my child that movie before the regulars, the original.
Really?
I think so.
Let's actually talk about that. Like, what would your order be? We'll do this quick because we have a couple more burner brackets. But what would your go-to order when your kid is old enough?
Yeah.
Reading comprehension's good. He can talk. He understands. He can think on his own terms. You're showing him Star Wars for the first time. What's the order?
I think you have a really good take on this. I think. I think I would go. You gotta get. I would watch Clone Wars very early on.
Oh really?
I would.
Oh, you know what? That's not bad. So you get them in like a base level
when they're
made for kids.
I would maybe start with Clone Wars before anything else.
Made for kids. The first thing. It's easily accessible.
Yes.
It's your door into it. Okay.
Yes, I would maybe show them that.
Get them to know Anakin as a hero.
Season 6, and I would not show them season 7.
Oh.
I think I would do that. And then I would have them watch the New Hope. I would watch them have a New Hope. And then I would go back and show them Phantom Menace, Attack the Clones, and Revenge. And then I'd show them Empire and Return. And then the sequels.
Really?
Is that crazy? Is that a weird order?
I would tweak it slightly. I agree. To start with Clone Wars is great because for a kid that's the easiest.
You can ease them in.
It's the easy door in.
Yep.
I would start with A New Hope, Empire.
Really?
Yes.
And you would get that reveal out of the way.
Yes. I would start with A New Hope, Empire. When it gets to I Am Your Father, jump back to Anakin as a kid. And then I would go through the prequels. I would go Phantom, Attack, Revenge. And then
Back for Return.
When you see Anakin at his lowest point and you see him on the come up as Darth Vader, and it feels like all hope is lost, then you bring it right back to the conclusion and you show him Return.
That's awesome. That's cool.
It makes the time jump between Empire and Return feel bigger. Because then it feels like the more time away you take between Empire and Return, it feels like it just feels more justified to see Luke in Return immediately being this like seasoned Jedi. Like it doesn't feel like it's a big thing you have to adjust to at first. Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's so much merit to that because it's like you go through you go through. Because then here's the problem. Here's the thing. Your kid at that point will have seen the Clone Wars in its entirety almost, seasons 1 through 6, and they'll only know Anakin Skywalker as this hero. Then you'll go back to A New Hope and you'll hear Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting Luke down in A New Hope and you'll hear him talking about how Darth Vader killed your father. And so in your head you're thinking to yourself, I have it out for Darth Vader because he took out this hero that I have this huge attachment to with Anakin Skywalker. And then when it gets to Empire and Darth Vader reveals, I am your father, I can't even imagine how that would alter a kid's brain chemistry, anyone's brain chemistry, to be like, okay, so this hero that I just watched protect the galaxy for 6 seasons, and I've been told for 2 movies that he died at the hands of this villain, suddenly my world's been turned on its axis. And
I love this.
You know what I mean?
I love this.
So then you go back and you watch the prequels, you watch him as a kid, and you watch him in Attack, and you see the correlation between the show and the movies, and you're like, this is the Anakin Skywalker I know. Like, it feels cohesive. But then you see the turn in Revenge, and so then suddenly the connection is there now, Anakin to Darth Vader. And so now it's like so now it's like when the redemption happens in Return, it feels like it's less of like something you need, like say you watch the prequels after the original trilogy, it feels like less something you have to understand later. You have the full context of it, and you just get the resolution with no follow-up.
I absolutely love this take, dude. That's perfect because it's so good. Like you said, because you basically, what it feels like when people ask this question is, which path do you want to take? Do you want them to be surprised at the end of Order 66, or do you want them to be surprised in that moment with Luke? And I almost feel like what you're doing is so smart because you build up both. You don't get the reveal of the Order 66 thing, but you get both like halfway at least for this, and then you can kind of take a loop over
because
so much story building into one moment.
Exactly, dude.
And how much tie it together?
How much more devastating is Order 66 when it's like you're seeing this hero that you've emotionally like worshipped and invested yourself in reach that point of no return, and you see him killing all of his friends off and forsaking everything. And you see Luke come into the picture, and suddenly it just like contextualizes everything. It's why Luke and it's why Ben are on their own, and it adds so much. Suddenly Yoda's animosity towards Vader and being adamant, Luke, in order to be a Jedi, you have to kill Vader. Mm-hmm. Like, suddenly it makes sense. It doesn't feel like something, it's like you're watching through the originals and you're like, all right, I guess I'll have to understand this later.
Yep.
Like, you get why Yoda refuses to fight the fight, because he's in exile, he feels ashamed, and he feels like he failed. It's not his fight anymore. And he's frankly too afraid to confront it. And he'd rather pawn Luke off to try and finish the fight for him. It's so much of it just contextualizes itself. I just feel like the beats of Revenge, seeing it all fall into place, there's so much more of an aha moment when you haven't gotten the resolution of Return, as opposed to if you watch through Return and then you go back almost like Lord of the Rings in the Hobbit style, and you're
direct flip.
You're taking the 1 step forward and 2 steps back just to get back to square one again. Like it's 1 step forward, 1 step back, and then you're off to the races. You know what I mean? I don't know,
wow.
dude. Suddenly,
that's really good. That's really good. I never remember watching it as a kid and not knowing Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker. I don't remember the first time I knew that. Mm-hmm. I just kind of always knew that.
Right. Right.
And so that always changed my opinion of things.
And that's what I'm so terrified of.
Yes,
a kid
me
finding
too.
That out, dude.
Me too. But that's why it always changed in my head that, like, honestly, if I could go back, I would have rather not known and watched Revenge
Yeah.
than Empire.
Yeah.
So that's always how I felt.
Yeah,
but I
me too.
understand, honestly, based on what you just said, I think it probably is better. And honestly, when I say that, like, I do mean it. I don't want to be selfish to the kid. I want the best experience they can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, I would have rather seen it that way.
Yeah.
Because of just how much more I connected to Clone Wars, that I just would not be able to believe that. I would be like, are you kidding me?
And how special is
and
that?
what
that we have
happens
that?
then?
Right.
And then what happens?
Exactly, dude.
And then I think that would be... So I really like your take.
How special is that, though, that we...
That's the first...
Like, our parents didn't have that. They didn't have a show
I know.
that was like an easy in to really,
I'm
give
glad
us
we
that
both
love for
agree on
Anakin.
that. That 100% has to be the way you start.
Yeah.
Because it just makes everyone so endearing.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that would be frustrating about that is kids that like Ahsoka. That would be annoying. You disagree on that? I mean, it's just because she's such a... And I think that's why you can't show them Season 7, partly.
Yes, I agree.
Because she's so pivotal.
Yeah.
And also because it ruins the revenge thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
But
good.
I don't even know,
That's
dude.
good. That's a great take.
Yeah. Hey,
that's great.
Yeah, a little, derailing, but I feel like that was a
It's
very...
twice now, dude. You counting them? Tally? That's twice you've confirmed... Or... Confirmed me? What am I looking
Converted?
for? Converted.
Wow.
Converted me.
Well, going for the big three.
That's
Big
right.
three. We have a couple more hot takes. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. This is probably going to be a two-parter, right? What do you think?
Yeah, bro. Well, where are we at right now?
We're at an hour and 43.
Holy cow! What happened? I
Star
swear.
Wars happened. No Country for Old Men. We
I
talked for 10
swear
minutes.
you just talked. You said to me a second ago we were at like 30 minutes.
I know.
What in the
We'll
world?
breeze through a couple more of these.
Okay. All right.
We
Yeah.
have-
Let's speedrun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go? Where do we go here? Okay.
Wherever
Oscar
you want.
movies are usually boring, and people pretend to like them. This is really interesting, especially with what we've just got in the landscape now.
It's objective. You can't. It's not like all of them are
It
you
is.
dislike.
It is. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna back it.
I think for the most part, the Oscars kind of get lost in like what is trying the hardest to be this like artistic expression,
Yep.
rather than just objectively like what engaged audiences the most. I mean, One Battle After Another and Marty Supreme both have grossed less than $100 million. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it just
It's
is
less
what
a
it
fan
is.
thing. It's more what stylistically hit the best versus who technically had the best performance and all this stuff. And like it makes sense. But it's also like, does it have the same reach?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, over time, you've gotten this thing where the Academy Awards have developed this influence where there are movies now that are made specifically to appeal to the people that give these awards out. You know,
Yep.
it's made to appear to the, what are they called? The heck are they called?
What you talking about?
The Hollywood Foreign Press. You know,
okay.
it's meant to appease the people that tally the votes.
Yep.
Like your Bradley Cooper maestros, or like your I don't even know, like like your occasional movies with like the controversial casting that everyone debates.
Yep.
Was this and that. I don't know. There's just some. So I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I think the thing that's opened my eyes the most to it this award season has been the early stuff to showing. I know we haven't done the Oscars yet, but the disrespect I feel like Sinners has been getting for how universally, I would say, loved the movie's been, comparatively at least, to One Battle and stuff like that, and Marty Supreme even. Mm-hmm. Even though I loved Marty Supreme more than Sinners, I just still think it takes on too much of a... We're nitpicking almost more so, and we're not just taking it as an overall.
Right.
And I feel like generally most people would put Sinners as the top in some things.
I agree.
And it's winning almost nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just... I don't know.
It's a shame.
It is, and it's like all One Battle After Another or Timothy Chalamet winning stuff right now, and it's like
the whole thing is just kind of lopsided.
It is, and it feels like you get these runaway picks then for a movie that people deem as the best, when it's like how many people actually thought this was just phenomenal itself and they bought in.
Right.
I don't know.
And you know what? Like it's tricky because on the other hand, I'd say like, you know what? Like Avatar: Fire and Ash didn't deserve to be in the Best Picture conversation. You know, like all the movies that were left out, I feel like were left out for a valuable reason.
Very fair.
Like honestly, like some of the box office doesn't mean everything. Like just because a movie didn't make that much doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve to be in the conversation. I'm just saying sometimes the mass appeal of a movie is negated because you're just trying to pick, like you said, the most like artistically expressive movie.
Yes.
The movie that looks like it's trying the hardest.
And how many times has that come back now where we look back at old, and I'm trying to remember specific examples, but there are times where you're like, how did Leonardo DiCaprio not win anything for like any of the other performances that he did in the early 2000s?
Exactly,
like, it's
dude.
insane.
Yes, right. But then he won it for The Revenant, which has like, it's not even that, I mean, people liked it, but it wasn't like, you know, it didn't have that mass appeal.
Right, and he's about to he might win one again.
We'll
and
see.
It feels like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like they try to focus too much on it, and then those movies are the ones that get buried anyway.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
so
I'm with that.
yeah, we agree.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. What do we got next? The best horror movies aren't scary. They're uncomfortable.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Back it. Yeah.
I back it as well.
I back it.
I don't even think we need to talk about this all that much. I
Yeah.
think you could name even some just recent ones: Get Out, Hereditary,
You know why?
Midsummer.
Do you know why I think so? I think because people get such a built up, and I think this is why horror books are so much better than movies, because it lets your mind wander and dream about what it's going to be. And when you go pure on just scary, you create these ideas in your head, or lack of, that make it so much scarier. And it's almost the anticipation that makes it scary, that almost always, once you get the reveal of what it is in a horror movie, you're honestly like underwhelmed, and you're like, okay, I'm not really scared anymore. Almost always. And I think that's why, like you're saying, the uncomfortableness of movies like Get Out and stuff like that make you just feel this constant, like, and you've said this a bunch on the podcast, but this feeling of, I shouldn't be watching this. Like, this just feels weird.
That's it. That's where horror, I think, is at its best.
Yeah, because it's so sick and twisted.
Right.
More so than, like...
Yeah, ultimately...
Because you can only get so frightened, I feel like.
Right. Horror needs to be something that you're consuming that you feel like you shouldn't be in the room for. That you can't get out of your head. And I think that it's so much more effective when horror does something like Hereditary, where you're spending the first significant portion of the movie being like, something's wrong with this family, but I just, and it's like your worst fear, the worst scenario you can put in your head is that there's some sort of like a possession thing.
Yep.
And then it's like, that's what's happening. And it's like your worst fears that you didn't want to believe are actually going down. That's what's happening right in front of you. And you just have to sit there for it. That, to me, sticks with me more than the movies where in 10 minutes you're like, this is a slasher movie and one of these kids is the killer. And you just have to decide which one.
Here's Ghostface again.
Right.
Or even, I mean, I like the movie, but even Pennywise comes out. Enough times you see him, you're like, okay. Yeah, I'm used to it.
Right. But then you're
Michael Myers is here again. Yeah.
That's it. But then you're looking forward to the horror. You know what I mean? The best horror is when you're dreading it unfolding.
Yes.
And that's what I think the key is. It's like horror should be used as a device you physically push yourself away from, rather than you're like, I need more.
Yep.
There's nobody in my life that I've ever met that says I needed more of the possession stuff in Hereditary or Midsummer, or the cult stuff in Midsummer. It's but everyone's saying, we're on episode 5 of Welcome to Derry. Where's Pennywise? I'm not scared enough. You're doing horror wrong. Or, but I guess there's no wrong way to do it, but I think the best horror is when it's like a visceral opposing magnets. I need to get this away from me.
Yeah.
Because that's what sticks with you. That's what really unsettles you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
All right, what do you think?
Totally agree.
What else do we got?
Totally agree. I want to do this one. Terrence Howard is a better roadie than Don Cheadle.
I could very easily, quickly give my answer to this. I'll even make it obvious which one.
3, 2, 1. Back it, yeah.
Back it, dude. Missed opportunity.
It really is a missed opportunity. I hate that there was beef there, man. I feel like he fits the role so much better. I just watched Iron Man 1 and 2 pretty recently. Yeah, dude, he's so good.
He's awesome.
He's so good. And I like Don Cheadle. He just doesn't feel as it doesn't feel as like it makes sense. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
and you talked about
don't buy it as much.
You talked about it an hour ago, but it's that surface thing where it's like, I think the best sequence of Don Cheadle as Rhodey is the courtroom scene in Iron Man 2 when you first see him.
Yep.
And he's like, what does he say? He's something like, "I'm here, get over it," or whatever. Yep. And it's almost like he's speaking to the fans. It's like, I've been recast.
Yes,
we're moving on.
It's like a fourth wall.
It's my favorite Rhodey moment in the MCU.
He just progressively, though, as you see him in the MCU, I like him less.
That's it. As you peel back the curtain, you realize that there's not nearly as much depth as there could be.
And I feel like Terrence Howard communicated that depth and that sense of actually being like, I don't know, not quite on Tony's team, but also being on Tony's team just worked so much better.
Yes, he was the what do they call him, the lawful good?
Yes.
To Tony's whatever he is.
He'll help him to an extent, but
the unlawful good was Tony, and then the lawful good is Rhodey from Terrence Howard. Like it was like the same. They could reach the same point where it's like they both wanted to be heroes for the same reasons, but it's like their delivery was different, and it balanced itself out so well, where it's almost like Don Cheadle plays more of it feels more like a babysitter.
He does. Yes, it's a great take.
It feels like you almost kind of like you're like, oh man, another scene with
get
Rhodey?
out of here. Like Terrence felt special.
Don, get out of here.
Come on, Don.
The Don.
Oh, the Don
when
rub.
The Don comes
the Don
around.
rub.
Oh,
that's good.
I agree though.
That's good. Okay, wait. I actually have the next take that I'd like to read. We only have a couple more.
Yeah, go for it.
Important.
Yep.
San Francisco 49ers are going all the way, baby.
Come on. Yeah, there you go.
Peak. That's peak. You want to end on one more? You want
to
do one more?
Let's do one more. Yeah, sure. All right, yeah, let's do one more, and then we'll close things out and let the people go to bed. By the people, I mean us.
Okay, I was going to say, when do you think people listen to this? I would assume during the day.
4 in the morning. Well, your dad listened to it at 2 in the morning. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, he did.
Let's see. All right, last one. Picked a good winner here. Nostalgia is the laziest form of storytelling and relies... Oh, was it studios? I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, sorry. All right, nostalgia is the laziest form of storytelling, and studios rely on it only because audiences reward it. Solid.
Very solid.
That's a solid take. Solid take.
3, a 2, and a 1. Just back it. Yeah, just back it. You gotta back it. I'm sorry. I mean,
it's lazy.
It's
fun.
It's fun.
I'll reward it all the live long day, but it is lazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's the easiest cash grab you can do.
It is.
And unfortunately, it's going to work on me every time. And I hate it.
I think that's the problem. I don't know what that says about me.
Well, how can it not, man? I mean, the people that you're going to do it on, the nostalgia thing, it's clearly like people were in there for a reason. So you got them in the door for a reason. So if you're going to take them through that same door, I think anybody's going to be fine with that.
That's really it, dude.
It's anybody loves to experience things that they liked before.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Would I have loved to see a better last 5 years of Marvel storytelling? Yes. But are you about to tell me that like Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and the entire OG X-Men cast are coming back, and I shouldn't be excited?
Take my money.
I'm here. You know what I mean? Chris Evans is back, and again, I'm supposed to be so objective that doesn't excite me when I just loved Chris Evans in the role for 15 years. It's like, give me a break, dude. I'm going to be seated.
I could see myself seeing that movie like 4 or 5 times, probably. Doomsday.
I think so, dude. I think I'll see it like 3 times in the first weekend.
Probably. Like every night going back.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited.
What's the most you've ever seen a movie?
It might have been when Revenge re-released in theaters last year. I think I saw it like 4 times in theaters. Yeah, it was crazy.
I saw Cross 4 times.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the most I'd done, and it was by the end I was like, wow, okay. The 4th time I was like, I'm good.
What am I doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It was kind of what you had, where I had the couple times I wanted to go with people, and then people kept asking me, and it's like, what are you gonna do?
Sure. Yeah.
So it was like every friend base I had was like, let's go. I think I even went with my dad and all that stuff.
I mean, you have to.
You do.
You have
to.
Do. Your dad can't go without seeing Spider-Ham on the big screen. He'd be so remiss.
Right. Absolutely nothing.
What do you think? I think we covered all of it, dude.
I think we did,
too. What did we cover? Like 18 hot takes? That was insane.
We
ran the gauntlet, dude. I'm tired.
That was fun.
I don't know what the ultimate cut time is going to be, but it says we're at 2 hours and 1 minute right now.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. We definitely, it's going to be it's close. It's close. Little spoiler, coming weeks. Next week we're going based off, there's a re-releasing of The Lord of the Rings this weekend as we speak, but obviously it hadn't come out yet.
No.
So we're going to be touching on Lord of the Rings. We're finally going to be doing a podcast on that. I think we're going to be having a guest. So
we are.
We're going to be having our Lord of the Rings
in-house Lord of the Rings expert.
It's going to be coming in. We'll be doing that episode. I don't know. We got some other fun things. Hopefully Parking Lot Takes should be. I think that's a little spoiler.
Yeah.
A little spoiler.
Yeah, we won't do that too much, but we're hoping to have a collab sometime.
We should be having them on hopefully in February, maybe? Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Let's hope.
We'll see.
But anyway, so a lot of fun things, a lot of good things coming up.
I'm excited.
But as always...